Call of Duty Vanguard versus Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022, which is the worst Call of Duty game of all time. It's definitely one of these two in my opinion, but I would love to know from you guys down in the comment section, what do you think the worst COD is, or bottom three? Give me your bottom three. I was sitting on the toilet the other day and I was taking a massive dump. You know, one of those shits where you have to like run to the toilet? Like, everybody get the hell out of my way, and you're running full sprint, it's kind of dripping down your leg, it's a little bit wet. It was one of those, and I was kind of just thinking, wow, this shit kind of reminds me of Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2, the last two Call of Duty games. Now, which of these two is worse, though? We're going to break it down and see.
Round one, fight.
The thing I want to talk about is the mechanics of this game. Now, the gameplay mechanics for Call of Duty Vanguard are fairly similar to Modern Warfare 2019. You got the slide canceling mechanic, of course. You got the fast-paced movement, the tactical sprint. Now, Vanguard, in comparison to Modern Warfare 2, they play somewhat similar, but also very different. Now, their whole idea behind Modern Warfare 2 and changing up the gameplay mechanics was they kind of wanted to slow it down for the 55-year-olds and 75-year-olds that are playing these games. If you are one of those people, no offense, I think they're slowing it down for you guys. Don't get me wrong, Modern Warfare 2 is still a very fast-paced game, especially with all the settings nowadays. You can alter everything. Like, you can change the FOV, which is the field of view if you didn't know. I mean, there's just so many settings that you can make the game faster, or at least appear faster than it actually is. But from a core gameplay standpoint, you definitely move a lot faster in Call of Duty Vanguard. The slide mechanic, I go back and forth on whether I like the slide mechanic or not. I thought I hated it, to be honest. I was getting really tired of it and I wanted a change, and then the change happened and I was like, you know what? I kind of missed that. Here's what I think. I think the slide mechanic works very well in Warzone. It allows you to traverse around the map at a much quicker pace, which is definitely something that everybody that plays Warzone likes to do. Nobody likes to just have to run for miles and miles or find vehicles to get across the map and find anybody. I mean, I swear to you guys, when I play Warzone 2, I don't even run into an enemy for like 5-10 minutes at a time. It's ridiculous. But Warzone 2 is definitely lacking content. So is Modern Warfare 2. We're gonna get to that in a second. As far as the gameplay goes though, I think I would give the edge to Modern Warfare 2. Like I said, I do think the slide canceling has a place in Warzone, but as far as multiplayer goes, I think slowing it down a little bit with Modern Warfare 2 was definitely the right call. You can still tactical sprint, of course. I just like the fact that nobody's sliding around corners like a maniac. I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, but I would give the edge to Modern Warfare 2 when it comes to gameplay.
Round two, fight.
The next thing I want to talk about is the maps/content. Now, this is kind of an unfair comparison, obviously, because Vanguard's been out much longer than Modern Warfare 2 has, but I'm going to already say right off the bat, I prefer the maps that were in Call of Duty Vanguard. And that's saying a lot, because I'm not a World War II fan when it comes to first-person shooters, unless it's a Battlefield game. When Call of Duty does World War games, I just cannot stand them. The only one I liked was World at War. And that game came out when I was in diapers. So I wasn't a big fan of World War II, wasn't a big fan of Vanguard. I just don't like World War II settings, and that's just a personal preference. Very subjective, but I do think the maps, even not talking about the DLC maps that they added throughout the course of the Vanguard year, I'm talking about the maps that launched in Vanguard. I think they're way better than the maps that came out in Modern Warfare 2. And then as far as content goes, it is no secret that there has been a lack of content, not just with Warzone 2, but also Modern Warfare 2. This year has just been horrible. I mean, they're updating this game once a month, maybe, and that's even being kind to them. I don't even know if they update it that often, but a new season that comes out, I think, every month and a half, and they do a little bit of updating, fix some bugs and stuff. Don't really listen to anything that the community's asking for them to fix, and they just do their own thing. I honestly wonder if these guys even look at social media. I doubt they do. Infinity Ward does not give a shit about the community or the feedback that we give them. Treyarch, on the other hand, that's the reason I love them. These guys listen to the community. They're always implementing ideas. They're willing to listen to everybody. They're willing to learn. That's why their games are quality and usually last the longest. I mean, Cold War, every time I go back to that game, it wasn't one of my favorite Call of Duty games, but there's so much content in that game. They added a shitload of maps. I don't know, I just really like Treyarch. I can't be alone there, right? Yeah, even with the season updates for Modern Warfare 2, they are adding like no maps. I think they've only added 3 or 4 maps to this game so far, and 3 of them have been past maps. So they brought back Shipment for the 450,000th time, just like Nuketown. Shipment is one of those maps they just constantly bring back. Then you got Shoot House, which they also brought back, and then I think they brought back Dome. Okay, that's one map I won't complain about. I do love me some Dome from Modern Warfare 3, you know what I'm talking about? I think that the only new map that they've actually added just came out about a week or 2 ago, which is called the Expo map. It's a decent map for pubs. I don't really care for it too much, but I mean, at least it's a new map. That's the only new map they've added, guys. In 6 months, this game's almost been out 6 months now, and they've only added one new map to this game. It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You guys remember back in the day? I sound like I'm old here, right? But you guys remember back in the older Call of Duty games, there was map packs, I think, every 2 months or a month and a half, and they would come with 4 multiplayer maps and then a zombie map, and that would basically hold you into the next season. Nowadays, I mean, you're lucky to get one map each season. It's not the same anymore. As far as the actual maps go, I just don't like the maps I don't really like them in Vanguard either, to be honest. Like I think I only liked maybe 4 or 5 maps that came out in Vanguard. I like Tuscan, I like Gavutu, I like Dome. Obviously that was a map that they brought back from World at War. Castle was good. And honestly, with Modern Warfare 2, I don't know if I can name 3 maps that I actually like. The highway map.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I always forget the name. I shouldn't. I think Border Crossing or whatever. One of the worst, most atrocious maps I've ever played in my life on any game, not just Call of Duty. Embassy, Hate Fortress. I cannot stand that map. You get spawn trapped so easily, or I'm spawn trapping them, and I kind of feel sorry for them. Oh, Hotel is a good map. And then the last thing I want to mention about content and maps, these guys over at Infinity Ward, I don't know who's on the map design team anymore, but they're kind of stupid because they keep using real life locations, and they're getting copyright problems all over the place. So Hotel is a real life location somewhere in the world. They also had a museum map from the beta, and it hasn't been seen since, and the reason for that is it's a real location in the world, and I guess they can't use it anymore. So somebody over there just doesn't have any originality and no ideas anymore because they're using real life locations. Come on, guys, is it that hard to make a 3-lane map? Like, they used to make some of the best maps of all time. Bring back some Modern Warfare 2 maps if you have to. The classic Modern Warfare 2. Where's Scrapyard? Where's High Rise? Where's Terminal? Sorry for rambling. I just get on a little bit of a tangent and I just can't stop myself, but I would definitely give the edge when it comes to content and maps to Call of Duty Vanguard. All right, so it's 1-1. The final round's just going to be me spitballing. I don't have like a specific topic. It's just going to be my opinion on which one I've enjoyed more since they've come out. I think I enjoy Call of Duty Vanguard more, which I don't know how I'm saying this, but I honestly think that I enjoy Call of Duty Vanguard more than this game. It goes against everything that I enjoy about Call of Duty game. It doesn't even feel like a COD game, to be honest, but it's just better than Modern Warfare 2. At least I had more fun on it. Like, Modern Warfare 2, the only reason why I sometimes play this game is for ranked mode. Ranked mode, I cannot lie, it's pretty great. I mean, they finally listened in that regard. And guess who made the ranked play too? Treyarch. It wasn't even Infinity Ward. They went and asked Treyarch to make it. Probably a good indicator why it is a success to this point. They've finally listened, and you know, there's stuff to work for. There's stuff to work towards. Some really cool looking ranks. There's different skins for each of the ranks. Just really fun, and definitely the only reason why I will continue to ever play this game. It's really hard. I mean, I just said that I prefer Call of Duty Vanguard, but honestly, I'm going back and forth in my head, and I think I might have been wrong. I just can't... Guys, we're comparing shit to diarrhea here. We're comparing baby barf to me throwing up after having, you know, 1 beer. It's just... It's horrible. They're both disgusting. I think I do slightly prefer Vanguard, which is saying a lot when it comes just to the standard multiplayer. Modern Warfare 2, honestly, is the biggest disappointment. I thought it would be a lot more similar to Modern Warfare 2019, which there's some stuff I don't like about that game, but I do think it was decent overall for pubs, at least. Now, I want to talk about some honorable mentions here. Before these 2 games came out, I think my least favorite Call of Duty game of all time was actually Infinite Warfare, and maybe, I don't know. Let me think of this. World War II? No, that wasn't it. Yeah, I think my least favorite Call of Duty game before last year was probably Infinite Warfare. The jetpack games as a whole, I just wasn't a big fan of. Black Ops 3 was a little better than the other 2 in my opinion. Infinite Warfare, I didn't like it. Over the years, it's grown on me a little bit, and that's partially because the more recent COD games have been shit. So, same as Ghost, that's another one I didn't really care for when it first came out, but if you compare Ghost to any of these newer Call of Duty games, it looks like a 10 out of 10. Yeah, and then I guess I would put maybe World War II. That game's okay, but I would probably put that near the bottom for me. And then maybe Modern Warfare 19 is somewhere down there too. It's definitely not as bad as these games, but it's somewhere down there for me. I want to know down in the comment section though, what is your least favorite Call of Duty game of all time? Give me your bottom 3. I'm guessing that these 2 are going to be in there, Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2, but what's your third? Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you guys are new, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.